Hello, my fellow subscribers and comic book lovers. This is Daniel in Kraken Lair Comics. Just a quick little late night video. One of the channels I really love is the We Love Comics channel, hosted by a really nice guy. His name is Chris. And one of the things that he does on his channel is live comic book unboxings. So there's complete transparency that, you know, the condition I'm saying or what I paid for this, there's no editing, there's no magical internet tricks. You are seeing this as I'm seeing this. So this is my first live unboxing. I want to give a shout out to the person on eBay that I got this from, which is Emerald, like the green, Emerald Imports. And lots of really great comic books on his eBay site. You should check it out. This gentleman was kind enough where he was selling this Golden Age 1958. I think that still qualifies as Golden Age. You tell me. The original price was $55 plus shipping, which was $3.99, which would put you at a total of $58.99. I sent him an offer. Would you take $46.01 plus the $3.99 shipping, putting it at an even $50? And he agreed. So that saved me $8.99 off the purchase of this book. Now, that's not big money, but for those of us that like shop on eBay a lot, if you think about that, and say I bought 10 comic books, and I saved $8.99 each of those 10 comic books, that just saved me almost $90, which is $90 that I have in my pocket to buy another comic book. I had never thought of doing this before. Shout out to Chris, We Love Comics. It was something that he was like, ask for deals. Be reasonable. If somebody has a comic book listed that is worth $250, don't set them an offer for $20. That's kind of offensive. They're probably not going to answer you or just going to block you. But people listing comic books on eBay, their intention is to sell them. That's what they want to do. That's why they have taken the pictures, made the listing, put them on eBay, because they want to sell them. A lot of times there's auctions that end and nobody bid. So if you're looking at that comic and they wanted, it doesn't matter. Well, let's say they wanted $10 and the auction ended and nobody bid on it, and you sent a kind email saying, hey, I saw this comic book that you wanted $10 for, nobody bid on. Would you take $9? That's a 10%, right? My math, is it good, people? That's a 10% discount for you. Some people will go, yeah, cool, $9, let's do it. Some might not. If you do it respectfully, and once again, in a realm of reason, if somebody is selling a comic book for $2,000, don't offer them $200. That makes you look stupid. But what I've found, like following the Chris method, sometimes even comics that don't have a best offer, they have an idea in mind of what they want to get for this comic book that they've listed. So sometimes even before the auctions ended, you can email them and say, hey, I see that this comic book that you have is currently going for this based on auction bids. Would you be willing to accept X amount of dollars? Once again, sometimes they'll agree and sometimes they won't. I've yet to experience where somebody's been like really ugly about it. Be like, man, I don't have a buy it now, and I don't. How dare you? Usually they just won't respond to your email. Okay, cool. Move on to the next book. The one thing we as collectors have to understand, especially with the introduction of the internet, it used to be back in the day, like there was comics like you might just see once in your lifetime. There's only so many local comic shops. You know, so many times you can get to a comic book con that if somebody's like, any issue was like, I want $100 for it. It was like, I either buy this or I don't. I might not ever see this again. I don't have a whole lot of options to, like, you know, gocollect.com and like look at what current copies of this issue are selling for in this grade. It's like, I want that book in my collection. Am I willing to spend the $100 on it or not? Because I might not ever see it again. Obviously, things have changed. We have a lot more tools at our command to see if we're paying a fair market price for a book. So, like, don't be afraid, you know, to approach a seller. I have a very key issue coming that the seller was kind enough, they took $50 off. So once again, by this approach, you know, not only did I save, you know, $9 on this, the next comic book I've got coming, I save $50. So that's $59 in Dan, the Kraken man's pocket. I could probably find a, you know, comic book that I don't have for $59 to go, cool, boom. And I'm no worse off financially. So let's get to the book. Live unboxing, and that's what I promised you. I went off on a, you know, comic book tangent. So here we go. I'm going to block out this guy's name and address. I don't want to, you know, post that everywhere. This is, you know, a very nice comic book box meant to ship comic books. So it's got inherent sort of cardboard protection. There's lots of videos out there where people, you know, if a comic book bag and a board in a bag in the mail, disaster. This is meant to send and ship comic books. So there's multiple layers of cardboard protection. So even if the mailman tries to like shove this in, it's not going to bend like very easily. And certainly if it did, I would go to my mailman, my local post office, and go, hey, guess what you just did? But this was packaged very securely in a bag and board. I also asked the gentleman, the seller at Emerald Imports, to put this in a Mylar bag, which he responded to, that like he ships out all of his comics in a backing board in a Mylar bag. It looks like they even did additional protection with additional backing boards, which I can use. Some tape here. So we're gonna very carefully, like I told you, this comic book is from 1958. Don't want to damage anything. I know we get anxious to open our comics, but let's go cautiously, people, because you don't want to be the one that just damaged your new comic for your new, you know, for your collection. So we're just going to go really nice and easy. I'm trying to, remove these backing boards, these additional backing boards. So look, they're even additional protection, because that is protection. Now, you don't want to use this as the only protection, but when you consider this inside this, an extra layer of protection, which I appreciate. Now, this, like I said, is from 1958, which I think is like, you know, the tail end of the golden age. I think Silver Age starts somewhere 1960. You people, you tell me. I don't even collect DC comics, but once again, I always mention this guy, Chris, We Love Comics. he collects Golden Age comics, and that was a revelation to me, because I was like, Golden Age, like those things, like every one's got to be worth, you know, $1,000, $2,000, and I can't do that. And I found that, like, no, there's some really good Golden Age issues out there that you can find for reasonable. Like I said, like with the deal that this gentleman accepted at Emerald Imports, it was $50 flat. $50. 1958 comic. So I don't collect DC, but I really like this cover, and I'm about like comic book preservation. So I'm like, you know, in my collection, it's safe. It's going to last for the next generation, which is sort of important to me, because 20 years from now, 30 years from now, and I'm gone, some collector, some kid that's not even born yet, is going to appreciate that somebody carried that baton and kept this comic book safe. And I'm cool with that being me. So, here we go. World's Finest, number 95, from August, DC Comics. A great looking cover. Sorry about the glare. It's Batman fighting Superman, and Robin, the boy wonder down here, is like, since Batman got those superpowers, he and Superman have become bitter enemies. Intriguing. There is some issues, you know, 1958. You can see always the spine. It's always the spine. There's some creasing, some color break, right? The staples look really tight. Even there. It doesn't look like it's ripping apart from the staples. There is no color breaking creases across the cover. Doesn't look like it was folded and put in some kid's back pocket. This looks really, really nice. I can't wait to see what's on the inside and look at the art and read this story about, you know, Superman battling Batman, who now has, like, you know, extended superpowers. And I do love that it's the original Bat logo on his chest, which, you know, sort of gives you a, you know, a clue to the age of this book. It's a 10-cent issue. I love 10-cent issues. I don't have too many of them. So I'm very proud to have this. Glad to own it. Once again, the colors look really vibrant. Look at that. Look at that. Superman's red cape. His yellow belt. The blues. It looks really nice. Bottom edge looks pretty good. You know, like I said, there's a couple. It's always along the black. There's always a little bit, you know, shows damage really easily. But, you know, like I said, this is going to be short. So, World's Finest, number 95, 10-cent comic. I would grade this at maybe, because of the spine damage, it would benefit from a dry cleaning and a pressing. I would put this at maybe a 2 to 5, top out at a 3. That would be super awesome. But it looks very readable. It's not a reader copy. It's not falling apart. This might look great in a comic book slab. So, $50 flat. Done deal. Now in my collection. Glad to have it. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, I've rambled a little bit. I wanted to make it a quick video. Shout out to my 7 subscribers. Please comment. You don't even have to hit the like button. I just want to, like, is anybody listening out there in the interweb? I know my lovely and amazing daughter Savannah is a subscriber. So you tell Daddy, do you like that comic book? Maybe that'll give me some sympathy votes. Chris from We Love Comics. Alex the Comic Book Hoarder. I think maybe Mr. Comic is a subscriber, not sure. Once again, if you comment, I will know who my 7 subscribers are, and I'll give you guys shout outs. I do have a major key coming in the mail, as I said, that I say $50 off the asking price. That's coming in the mail. And I have another one coming behind that, a very early Iron Man Tales of Suspense. So stay tuned to Daniel and the Kraken Lair comics. You guys have a good night. Thanks for watching.